Pens for Men Undergarment Studios in Orange County, California. It's the Indispensable Thursday Show with Sable and Dave. Mediocrity never goes out of style.
Hey, Bubble Ben, is that a picnic basket I see before me?
Yogi, I don't think Ranger Smith's gonna like this.
We'll keep working on that for next week, Dave. Hey, Dave, I haven't told you about this yet, but this week we're going to try out something different in our sponsorship model.
Okay.
Because we're not going to wait for people to come banging on our doors to get our products out there. I was pretty happy when we unsuckyourpresentation.com.
Are we gonna start doing like sponsor rape?
Well, what I'd like to do,
jump on them while they're heading into the office and
I want to
put them
keep
into the bushes.
I want to keep the
I'm popping a little bit. Maybe I should look away. I'm hearing the pop. My peas are popping.
Don't look away from the mic.
Okay.
I'm going to introduce the real sponsors up front, and we'll keep all the fake ones and the comedy stuff. We'll keep those towards the back.
Well, we don't have any fake comedy sponsors.
I just want to mention all of our listeners, all of our wonderful, smart, intelligent listeners. They probably have computers like you.
What about the rest? What about the rest of the listeners?
Yeah, well, our listeners are the smart, intelligent, wonderful ones.
Oh, I'm like the worst host. Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
It's not that you're a bad host. It's that you look away from the microphone when you talk sometimes. So I want you guys, if you don't back your computer up offsite to a server somewhere else in the world, I want you to go to theindispensable.show.com/backblaze. You do that too.
Okay, right now?
Right now, you do it. Theindispensable.show.com/backblaze.
I'm going there right now.
And that's going to take you to our affiliate link.
Indispensable.show.com/backblaze.
That's right.
I can't believe I typed that all incorrectly with the amount of alcohol I've drank before the show.
So if you have a Windows machine, if you have a Macintosh, $5 a month, it backs everything up on your computer that's important, not the operating system, because you can reinstall that. All your files, all your pictures, everything that matters in case the worst happens. The earthquake, California falls into the ocean, you swim out to Nevada, you buy a new laptop, you connect into backblaze.com, you get your stuff back. It's all there.
I've actually been a Backblaze user for a few years now, and
I didn't know that.
I have been. And I have no idea if it works or not because I've never had to use it. But I don't worry about backing things up because it's working. It says it's working, and I believe them. I
tell you for a fact it works, and I have clients that use it. Mm-hmm. I test mine periodically, of course. I've got the full security. Anyway, the whole show could be Backblaze. I just want to say there's lots of solutions out there. Just use Backblaze.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
Is this a tie-in to your story about the beach? Sounds like a sunburn issue.
Oh, a sunburn. Yeah. I'll tell you about my personal Backblaze. Subconsciously, I probably did. Mm-hmm. Well, I had a couple of quick things I wanted to pop later on. Some really interesting articles that caught my eye. Mm-hmm. But I promised to tell the listeners last week that I would tell you about the time I was pulled over on my Harley.
Oh.
And I didn't want to forget about that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. We had determined that you did not give him oral pleasure.
That's correct. Okay. I did not. So in 2001, I went down to the Harley dealer on my...
You were old enough to drive in 2001? You're old.
On my Ninja 500. No, it was not a Ninja. It was a Shadow. Honda Shadow 500. Lori had a Ninja 500 that I was a little jealous of, but... a little powerful. Mm-hmm. And I decided to buy a Harley Sportster. Brand new off the lot, had 3 miles on it.
Wow.
Which I then upgraded to be a 1200. And I drove it all around California, Oregon, Washington, Nevada, New Mexico. I think almost the entire
If you don't think of all the states you drove through, the listeners can be very angry. So
not drove through. Extensively drove on the highways. I put a lot of road on that bike. Uh-huh. And then I got out of the Army, packed up my trombone on the back of my Harley, and drove to California, which was in and of itself
packed up my trombone sounds like sort of like Carol Burnett at the end of the show. She's like, I'm going to sweep up my spotlight and head out. I'm going to pack up my trombone and just get out of here.
I actually shipped the guitars with the moving company, but packed the trombone on the Harley, mm-hmm. which was like, what? What just happened? So I'm in California, and I hop on the 60 freeway, the 60 East, to go visit a buddy who I hadn't seen in 5 or 6 years. And I'm cruising along with traffic, 67, 68 miles an hour.
Everybody knows you're from the West Coast, by the way, because you said the 60.
Yeah.
If you said, I got on 60, everyone would know you were from the East Coast because they always refer to the numbers without saying the word the. Like we say the 405 freeway. They would say, get on 405. It's a weird regional thing, isn't it? Sorry, go ahead. I know I'm going to totally derail your story.
That's all right. So I'm literally with the flow of traffic on my souped-up Sportster that I have driven the heck out of for years by this point. And I see a cop like race up behind me and pull me over on his motorcycle. All right. Motorcycle cops harassing motorcycle drivers. All right. I pull over. All right, I know the whole deal with officers. Even if I feel like I'm being punked, I pull out my ID.
Put a smile on your face
say,
and admit to what you did wrong,
hello,
even
officer.
if you didn't.
Do you know what you were doing? I said, no, I don't know, officer. I thought I was riding with the flow of traffic within the speed limit safely.
Oh, you got a beat down right there, didn't you? The baton came out, right?
And then he said to me, my wife drives a Sportster. I got a Road King at home and a Dyna. And I knew at that moment when he said his wife drove a Sportster, I was out. I was done.
He gave you oral pleasure. Yeah?
No,
He just let you go.
That meant no matter what, I was getting a ticket.
You were getting to take
So I was probably going to go to jail, but I was so polite by handing my items, asking him about his bikes. I told him that, well, someday, sir, I'd like to step up to a big Road King like that too. So I think I managed to talk myself out of jail, but
you were
into the
still
ticket.
nice, even though. See, it's a message for the black dudes, the young black dudes out there.
Don't
we're
make
talking
this.
About.
Don't
No,
turn
it's
this to black dudes.
just be super nice, even though you're angry. Like I said, don't light the fuse.
Now, I was really angry afterwards because it was clearly he pulled me over just to mess with me on my motorcycle because his wife drove a Harley. And then after about 2 or 3 weeks, I cooled off and I realized I was not going to go to court and fight it. It was only a $65 ticket.
Yeah.
I sent in the check, and to this day, I harbor resentment against the CHP bike officer.
What was his name? Do you remember?
I don't. I probably have the ticket, though. I can pull it out.
You have it laminated in your wallet? Is that the one? I know you have one in your wallet laminated. Is that the one?
So that was my not very exciting being pulled over on the Harley. But I think it related to what we were talking about last week.
Can I close this window of Backblaze?
Oh, yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
already
close
used
that. I don't
Backblaze.
need that.
Let me tell you one more pulled over story.
Oh.
So before I had a Harley, I had a souped up 88 Mustang with a big old spoiler and shiny rims and a
5-liter Mustang, the boxy
5 liter,
ones?
the big boxy.
Cool.
Uh-huh.
Those are cool in a
we used
weird
to
way.
race those around. Well, they were very cool in the 90s.
They were. They're still kind of cool a little bit. Yeah.
And
They look like a Gremlin, though. The AMC Gremlin. Just a little bit, you know?
Well, don't tell that to young military me. So I'm sort of done with what I was in Virginia Beach to do. I got like another week left before I ship out and move to Arizona. And I'm taking a day at the beach to go rollerblading. There's not a very big boardwalk. You can kind of rollerblade in about 10 minutes.
I'm trying to get a mental picture here. Do you have dolphin shorts on and leg warmers?
No. But there was a friend of mine, a flute player friend. She was in the passenger seat.
Flute player.
I was driving the car, and a Camaro zooms by this 45-mile-an-hour road on the right-hand lane at about 100. And she looks at me. And I wasn't dating her. She was just like a nicer lady that I hung out with. She said, "You're not going to let them get away with that, are you?" So, nope, I'm not going to let them get away with that. So I take off. I pass the Camaro. I'm feeling good about myself because I got a fast car. And there are lights everywhere all of a sudden. And I slow down and I pull into the nearest parking lot as soon as I see the lights and sirens and turn the car off and put my hands on the top of the wheel. And I look
10 and
out.
2 with a big smile on your face.
And there are 4 police cars blocking me in so I can't move out of the car. And they have their hands on the guns as they come up to the window. Apparently, I was doing 92 and a 45.
Oh, that's pretty close to doubling the speed limit. Actually, it's over.
It's
doubling the
over
speed
doubling.
limit. See, I'm not too good at the math.
Now, what subsequently, I'll make the story shorter than it actually was. First of all, they let me go. They let me drive back, which was unusual because
I know they can impound your car if you're doubling the speed limit.
They could
I always
have put
heard
me
that
directly to jail,
I don't
and
know
they
if it's
let
an
me know
urban
that.
myth.
But I was extremely polite. And then I completely panicked, and the people in the unit freaked out. And I had to go to court. So I'm calling my friend who's a lawyer, like, I'm going to jail. This is it.
Is this the lawyer that listens to the show?
Yes,
right
this is our listener.
The criminal/lawyer?
Yeah, the criminal lawyer. And he says, just calm down, admit to everything you did, promise you'll never do that again.
Good advice.
And put on your dress uniform with all your medals.
Oh, yeah.
So I put on they're called Class Bs at the time. I don't know what they are anymore, but it's where you had to wear like the ugly green slacks with the sort of weird greenish blue shirt. But I had a lot of medals because I was in the band. And we get
a lot of band medals.
We get a lot of medals in the band. So I had a lot of medals on.
I hit a high C during a live show one time.
No, not like that. I went to Bosnia and carried weapons and stuff. Anyway, so I put all my medals on. I went to court, and of course the police officer was there that pulled me over. And I said, yes, I was speeding. It was absolutely wrong, and I know it. And I swear I'll never do it again. And it looked like he was going to give me a hard time. And I said, also, Your Honor, I'm due to leave Virginia Beach next week if you allow me to. And I promise I won't come back if that's important. And he charged me a $400 ticket and sent me home.
All right. Very good.
That's when I got in the most trouble because the platoon sergeant, either the squad leader or the platoon sergeant, one of the guys who was like a supervisor of me, his wife got pulled over for doing about 85 to 90 miles an hour on the same street. But she lost her license for a year.
Oh.
He was mad that I didn't lose my license.
She probably popped off. Anyway, we're doing traffic stories now. Why don't you call in 657-206-0777. Sable and Dave, the Indispensable Thursday Show. Taking your traffic stories now. We'll read them on the air. Email them to us. No, actually, I'm going to tell one now that you got me going.
Okay.
This is very brief.
I just want to point out, in both cases, it could have been much worse for me. Shot dead, pulled out of the car, arrested, car impounded.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, show my ID, apologize,
yes,
be polite.
Could have been worse. I have gotten out of over probably 60% of the time I am let go because I'm very nice and I say, oh, crap, what was I? Was I speeding? I just offer up stuff. What was I doing? Sorry. Did I go a little bit into the red there? Sorry. Judgment call. Sorry about that. I say I'm sorry 60% of the time. Okay. I'm just nice. I'm nice to the guys.
Okay.
One time, you can tell me why you think I got let go this time. I was with a friend. This is when I worked at the movie theater back in the late 80s. Driving down, we were both on bikes. I was on like a Yamaha 550, I think it was. No helmet. This was before helmet laws, though. Mm-hmm. At night, sunglasses, no helmet. I was doing like 70 and a 35. Mm-hmm. And we got pulled over, and the officer was named Officer David Smith. He let us go. I don't know why. I was nice. Again, I was nice. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty stupid. Sorry about that. He let me go. He should. That was, I did not. I was nice. That's the whole thing. If you're nice and you admit what you did, say sorry. You had to pull me over.
You don't think you don't think his name being the same as yours had anything to do with it?
But if I was a douche, I would have got a ticket. But right. Maybe he thought it was amusing that we had the same name. I don't know. So
I would have thought it was amusing. So you ready for some news nuggets?
Yeah.
All right.
You better talk about the self-driving Apple car.
Well, we'll get to that at the end of these. Okay. News nuggets for the week. A California native tribe is filing a class action suit against the World Wide Web Consortium. They state that the use of HTTP is a racial slur and biases people against their housing.
Whoa. I'm not surprised.
A recent PU survey indicated that the average American can't tell one white male candidate from another. Mm-hmm. In response to public demands, Target has shuffled all the toys that used to be in the boys and girls sections and arranged them by price. You want a $10 toy? Go to the $25 aisle and check the bottom shelf. You want a $20 toy? Go to the $25 aisle and check the second to the bottom shelf on the left. Customers are very confused and have started an online petition to return the blue and pink sections back to their normal place.
If you want a nice toy, go to a different store.
Well, they've also started a Kickstarter, which is currently
Oh, good.
almost
Kickstarter
funded.
comes up. Oh, good. Yay, Kickstarter. Nice one.
Now tell me about the Apple Car.
I was recently reading a little bit about this. Apple, apparently they are working on a self-driving Apple car. Well, Apple, I don't know what they're going to call it. They haven't said, but there were some conceptual drawings and they look bitchin'.
Mm-hmm.
Apple, they're used to, they're known for having the sexy products, the sexy looking. I mean, your iPhone gives me a little bit of a half wood just looking at it.
We got an iPhone.
Well, I have an iPhone 5C, but your iPhone 6 is like something that's otherworldly. And the iPad and the iMacs, they just look prettier than other things. Oh, by the way, like if Apple ever gets into making the sex robots, they're going to make the best looking sex robots. Everyone's going to want the Apple sex robots. But can you
we
imagine?
just adjust your mic real quick?
Yeah. Well,
We're going to do this live and on the show.
Oh, Sable's reaching over, and what are you doing? Okay, that looks better. Yeah, I'm popping a lot in there. Aren't I?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, I like this better. See, I've been adjusting my mic the whole time when you should have been doing it the whole time.
I don't like to ever touch another man's mic.
Yeah. So the hell was I talking about? Apple, the cars. Yeah.
I think you were going to talk about kerning in fonts.
They are. They are. Yeah. Terminal windows. Terminal command windows.
Ligature. Serifs.
No, they're so yeah. Apple sex robots. They're going to make the hottest ones. Yeah. But I was thinking this has got to be a fanboy's dream because the like I said, Apple products, sensual, sexy looking. The Apple car. Can you imagine? As a fanboy, can you imagine finally fulfilling your dream of being inside an Apple product?
I can tell you it already exists. It's called the Tesla Model S, and it's great. I got an email from Elon Musk himself, of course, directly. It said, "Dear Sable, we're opening a Tesla store in your town very soon. And if you respond to this special email, you can have a test drive and your own time slot." I missed it. It was last weekend, but I was busy at the beach. I mean, come on.
They should do like a Willy Wonka style thing. Like they'll give you a tour of the Tesla. If you, they should sell candy bars or something, and if you get the golden ticket, you get to take a tour of the Tesla.
I think it was a golden. Yeah, I think it was a golden ticket that I got.
It'll be the songs.
I mean, how many people could they have sent that to? They can't have that many appointments over a 4-day period in one location. Yeah. I probably got one of like 100 emails.
How did you make the list? That's right. Did you think he actually typed it out himself and sent it to you?
I think he specifically went to the show, looked it up, figured out what the email was directly so he could email me without having to get it copied to you also. Because, if you email sable@theindispensable.show.com or dave@theindispensable.show.com, we both get it.
Yes.
So I'm just saying.
So I'm looking forward to this Apple self-driving car. If it's years away, I'm sure, but they always make the coolest stuff. It'll probably be even cooler than Tesla, but really the Apple sex robot's what I'm really looking for. Did we talk about the sex with robots before?
We did.
We did a little bit.
I saw the movie Ex Machina.
Ex Machina, right?
Which got us talking about the origin of that saying, and and now our listeners are all film critics. So we were talking about a real back blaze. And this weekend it's been pretty hot here in Southern California. And we had a pre-planned beach day on Sunday. And the last few times I've gone to the beach, I've thought, man, it would be nice. My kids are just old enough. We could start bodyboarding. Bodyboarding is one of those things that I really liked doing as a kid and never got around to doing as an adult.
Yeah.
So I was sort of looking for an excuse to have a couple bodyboards and go ride some waves. I'd done some body surfing since then, but never bodyboarding. And then I was at the Costco. I saw the good deal on the body gloves. I didn't buy them. I went to the beach. I went back to the Costco. I saw the boards. I didn't buy them. This time we're going to the beach. I'm going to go buy some.
You walked out with the 800 pack of paper towels, though, right? Did you get
of course.
That one?
I always
strap them to the top.
I always stop and pick up another 800 pack of paper towels.
Pre-cooked bacon. They have the best pre-cooked bacon there. Well, you don't do bacon here. But.
No. Their turkey bacon is not that great at Costco. We bought some and we haven't been able to even give it away. So you gotta shop carefully at Costco. But the body boards are a good deal. So I went in to
What
go
brand
get
are they?
their Body Glove.
Okay.
So I walked in right to where the body boards were, and they weren't there. So I turned to the left to the place they were before, and they weren't there. Like, oh crap, I missed them already. So I found they had been moved to the aisle where they're about to go away from the store. And they're right next to some nice surfboards too. If I ever surf, it seemed like that's an inexpensive way to get going on it. So I grabbed a couple. We went down to the beach, and my 8-year-old, man, once he got over his initial fear,
Yeah.
I couldn't get him out of the water. He was in and
That's
riding
cool.
waves, in and riding
awesome.
waves. I had to like pull him to the car, like get out of the ocean. We have to go home and eat dinner.
Get out of the ocean.
And later he was like, Daddy, I don't know why I'm so hungry.
Get out of the ocean. The calls are coming from inside the ocean. You get that one? You know what I'm talking about?
No.
This is a famous movie, When a Stranger Calls. You know, she's being harassed by a caller, and you know, about the midpoint, the cops call her, "Get out of the house. The calls are coming from inside the house."
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, that was a great one. Yeah, okay.
Nice one.
Hey, by the way, you know Jimmy Carter has cancer? Jimmy Carter?
I thought he had liver
president?
pills.
No, he's got liver cancer, but I was wondering, do you think that he hates cancer as much as he hates Israel?
No.
I don't think he does. I think
He hates Israel more than
I think he
anything.
still hates Israel more. The doctors say he's channeling his hatred of Israel into the tumors, and he's actually defeating cancer. So good for President Carter.
Wow.
Yeah,
He's gonna
I
outlive.
don't know where that came from.
He's gonna outlive Billary. I mean, have you seen that guy lately?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's been a little bit
I wonder
rough.
how many STDs Bill has.
At his age, does it matter?
What do you mean?
I mean, does it really matter? Everything else hurts. What matters if it hurts
yeah,
to pee?
yeah, and the girls that he's having sex with probably don't. There's like, I got herpes from Bill Clinton. This
Right.
is like Clinton herpes. You know, they're like, yeah, yo, Clinton herpes.
You know, he probably every time he goes and makes a new friend, just hands her a care package. Like, you know, there's some yeast cream in there.
Yeah.
There's a douche. There's like all kinds of whatever you might need. There's some kind of jelly in there. Like, just take it.
You know, after having sex with me, you might experience some itching or maybe a cottage cheese-like discharge. So I'm going to go ahead and give you some products right now. Take care of that.
Oh yeah. So, have you been following the latest drone story?
No. Well,
Okay.
There's so many. I just
Somebody took our drone delivery program.
the soda drone.
But they used it to drop drugs.
Oh,
So in an Ohio prison yard, a drone came in and dropped a load of heroin, marijuana, and tobacco, a payload. And of course the yard was full at the time of inmates. So suddenly there was they called it a brawl.
oh, okay.
Seemed like it was more riotous than anything. But then the Ohio authorities had to come in with pepper spray, and then they have no idea what happened to the drone or where it came from or how
You don't
many
know what
other
it dropped?
times. How many other times has the drone come in and dropped heroin, marijuana, and tobacco?
Yeah. And what color is the drone? Because if I was going to have a drone, I would paint it like blue. Because, you know, they're coming out of the sky. I would paint it like blue and white, like cloud. I put clouds on it and stuff instead of painting it black.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wonder,
They didn't find the drone, so
there was another prison riot somewhere I heard about too. I don't know where it was, but it sounded like the entire yard erupted in just a horrible melee. And I remember thinking, because they said how many people were injured, like one person was stabbed. And I was like, huh? It seems like a prison yard riot would be like the worst place to be ever, but they only treated like 4 people for injuries, and like one guy got stabbed. Like, that doesn't sound like too bad of a prison brawl. Like, you know, that's weird. I would have thought it'd be a lot worse. Anyway, it's just me.
I tried
It
not
was
to-
a federal prison. It was one of those federal penitentiaries where they have all, like, Bernie Madoff was involved in the brawl. He didn't wanna- I don't know.
he didn't want to break a nail. I try not to think about prison too much. It's a pretty awful subject here in the United States.
Yeah.
We-
Did we talk about what prison was it? I'm going to look this up because I found this really interesting. Now that you bring up prisons,
Are you talking about Supermax?
which one's the one is it Louisiana?
I thought you were talking about the Supermax in Colorado.
What is the prison? I think it's in Louisiana. Is it? Great. Do some song and dance while I figure out what's. Anyway, there was it is one of the most well-known prisons, and I think they had. I heard about Dennis Prager was talking about this. He went and visited this place. They had the highest, or maybe one of the highest, murder rates inside their prison. God, which one is it? Dang it! I mean, they had probably 50 or 60 murders going on a year inside the prison, like prisoner on prisoner. The warden is one of these kind of wacky evangelical Christians, but he instituted a no swearing policy.
Oh, I heard about this.
And what do you think? What do you think happened? Did murders go up, down, or what?
Well, research shows that if you change the way you speak and act, you'll change the way you think. So if you want to be a positive, uplifting person, you literally change the words that come out of your mouth to be positive and uplifting. So given that, I would say that the fighting and the murders decreased a lot. Double. They halved, or they went to a quarter over a year.
They went to 0.
Oh, 0.
Isn't that amazing?
That's good.
From no swearing. But yeah, you're right. It causes you to, like, they were punishing guards and prisoners. Like, everybody was part of this. So it causes, you're right, causes you to check your emotions. Whoops, I just knocked my mic over. It causes you to check your emotion a little
Mediocrity
bit.
never goes out of style.
That's right. But isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Now, you'd think every other prison who has that problem would go, oh, we're going to do that. Hell no, they're not going to. They probably don't even know about it. From one, you think you'd send a memo out, hey, FYI, we reduced the amount of murders in our prison from this horrible astronomical now to 0 with this super no-cost, simple plan. But of course, no one cares. This is going to be like, good for you.
Well, you're not exactly dealing with a group of behavioral scientists. You're talking about people who are prison guards for a living. Now, they may have been in the prison guard system and the prison guard union and been there the whole career, but that doesn't mean they have anything to do with research or science.
Well, I'm almost going to think that maybe you and I should take this under our wing. We'll go interview the guys over there. We'll just make a little video. We'll go around to all the prisons and go, why don't you do this right now? No, seriously, why don't you do this? Are you going to do this? And if they say no, you say, why not?
Why not?
So, why not? Do this. You know, not like I love prisoners, especially murderers. I don't care too much if certain prisoners get raped but yeah, we can't condone this. We do not need rape going on in the prisons. You go there to do your time, blah, 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 whatever. You should not get murdered in prison. Guards should not be getting killed in prison. This seemed like no-brainer. Let's do it. Let's work on this.
It's almost like the more we imprison people and the more restrictions we put on them, the worse they get. Now, I don't want some of those people accessible to the public. Child molesters, rapists. Like, I don't want them walking around. I don't want them coming by my house. You know, the people that are trying to rob you, first they come by, they knock on the door, they got a clipboard. Hey, we're going to clean the gutters for free in your house. Like, no, get out of here. I had a guy even one time, I was like, my hands are full. I'm just getting home from work. I don't want to talk right now. Thank you, but good luck. Well, come on, man. I'm not going to hurt you. I said, that's right. You're not going to hurt me. You're going to move along. Like, why would that even come out of his mouth unless he was casing my house?
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't understand people.
Weird. I hate these. Yeah, it sucks because when you have children too, they'll just run and answer the door. Because if you see out the corner, you're like, oh, I'm not going to go to the door. But my daughters will run up, Daddy, there's someone at the door. I'm like, Ixnay on the day, get down, hide. I don't want to talk to this person. I just want to tell me, Daddy, why do they want to? It's ugly. So I'm trying to train them. Like when they hear a knock on the door, duck, just duck, hit the floor. I will figure out if I want to answer the door.
I don't understand why businesses still canvass. It must be effective because there was a time, let's say 20 years ago, when you went door to door so that you could talk to whoever was home and say, we're offering the service in your area. Here's some information. If you're interested, let me make an appointment with an expert who'll come in and talk to you. And they'd say yes or no, and then you'd move on. But now you just email them, right?
Yeah.
But
if I need your service, I will look for you.
Or you call them. Like, you send them an email. You call. You send a flyer. Why is anyone knocking on my door? Except high school students. And they always want to sell me a Kit Kat for $3.
Yeah.
It was like the Kit Kat cost 50 cents at the store. Maybe 75 cents now. I don't know how much
I
they
just
cost.
hate that. Just don't come to my door. Don't come to my door.
Last time there was a very nice two students, a guy and a girl. Oh, it's still recording. Very nice couple of students. I said, look, here's $5. Just go on your way. So
Go buy some cigarettes. I don't think you can buy cigarettes for $5 anymore.
Oh, I thought they were like $9. Anyways.
Some of them are.
Well, given the time, I
wow, the time just flew.
Right? Well, I had a couple of. Well, I'm going to bring up a topic.
Okay.
And I'm going to just ditch the rest of the stuff.
We'll bring it on home. Save that stuff for next week.
So, in our quest for creativity and productivity, we all have the same amount of time in any given day, and how we manage that time is important.
Those are wise words.
Right? So something that we've always known and we never want to listen to, me included, I'm guilty of this, is that you need to have a certain amount of sleep to function optimally.
Yeah.
But most of us don't want to go to sleep because we have a lot of things to do. We don't want to give up watching one more show of The Wire or one more episode of The Good Wife or one more movie after we worked all day and all night. But then we wake up the next day and we're exhausted. And of course, there's always a do-gooder, somebody who's a motivational speaker. There's always some reason you don't want to trust the person who says you need to sleep more. Mm-hmm. But the CDC, have you heard of them?
Center for Disease Control?
That's right. They have issued some proclamations. I don't know. Citing research, they are saying that our sleep it's recognized as important to public health, and that sleep insufficiency has been linked to motor vehicle crashes, industrial disasters, medical and occupational errors. Mm-hmm. In fact, sleep deprivation is becoming an epidemic. Not like sugar and obesity, but it's getting up there. So the CDC has some recommendations for you
Don't tell
and
me
me,
that they're going to
Dave.
figure out a way to tax my sleeping somehow. Like if I wake up early, I'm going to get an extra tax or something.
Well,
I know. I shouldn't even said that. Because I know they're going to be like, "Ooh, we should research this."
You and I, Dave, we are, as creative people, we want to be at our best. So when we do sit down to record, we just nail it and not just screw around on Pinterest all day.
Yes.
You use Pinterest, right?
No.
That's not your favorite site?
No. I've never even really been on Pinterest.
I'm sorry I ever told my wife
Twitter.
about Pinterest. Okay, so CDC, these are your very important, you might want to write these down, words to live by.
I'm going to tattoo them on me myself.
They say...
Hold on, I'm getting my needle thingy. Hold on.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Go to bed at the same time each night.
Mm-hmm.
Wake up at the same time each morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
If you have children, you have no control over that. But
Avoid large meals before bedtime.
yes, agreed.
Yeah, that's not going to happen either. 11, 12 o'clock at night, I'm hungry every night. Avoid caffeine and alcohol close to bedtime. Mm-hmm. Oh, shoot. That's the beer.
No, you can't go to bed for a while.
And here, that's the old-fashioned. Mm-hmm. Darn. Mm-hmm. And, this one's easy. Avoid nicotine.
Right.
So with those four things, there's a big article about this. cdc.gov/features/
Did they say how many
sleep.
freaking hours that you need, or does it vary from person to person?
Person to person, you need between 6.5 and 8.5 hours of sleep.
Okay, so you should find your own sweet spot on that. I think if I get a little more than 7, I'm pretty good. If I wake up on my own, I have found. But I think other people need more, and some people need a little less. As we get older, I think we need a little less.
Right. Well, if you're 70, you probably only can sleep 5 or 6 hours, and that's all you need. Mm-hmm. If you're not 70 and you're sleeping, typically
So Hillary Clinton, being very old,
doesn't
does
need to
not
sleep at
need
all.
As much sleep.
She
Okay.
might be a vampire anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always had the problem of going to bed between 12:30 and 1 and waking up at 6. Night after night after night after night after week after
I'm kind of
month
similar.
after
I
year.
fall asleep about the same time, but other people wake me up around 6, and that pisses me off.
Right.
I would prefer to go till 8 or 9
Right.
if I go to sleep at 12:30.
If you go to bed at 1, you should wake up at between 8 and 9, right?
Yeah,
Makes sense.
yeah, that's reasonable.
So this is one of the things I've known, like cutting back on soda, maybe exercising more.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to maybe at least start thinking about going to bed at 11:30. Maybe I don't start one more TV show at 11:30 at night.
God, it's hard because I've never liked to go to bed since I was a kid. I never did. I used to watch I'd sneak in down the hallway, and my parents would be watching the Tonight Show. This is back in the 70s, and I would be watching from the from
the hallway.
Yeah, I was like with my jammies watching. I would see Pete Barbuti playing the piano with his big cigar, and then Jack Carter would be doing jokes. You know who Jack Carter is? You probably have no idea. He's like one of those old, I don't know, Jewish comedians. He he's works at the Catskills and probably did vaudeville.
I watched a little bit of the Tonight Show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I got to play some Tonight Show big band charts.
Oh,
that was cool.
I used to go see the Tonight Show taped a lot. I used to go to Burbank back in the late 80s.
Oh, I played it in a band. The drummer of the band that I played for was the music librarian for the Tonight Show.
Oh.
So we would pull up parts and it would say, Doc solos here.
Oh, that's cool. The notes on it.
Yeah.
Those were fun times. I remember I saw Jerry Seinfeld on that show one time back when he was first breaking. That was fun.
Yeah, so
that was fun. Fun times.
When we're only getting 5 hours of sleep, no matter what the military says, it's just not enough to function. So I never liked going to bed early. I always wanted to stay up and maximize my day. But the exhaustion of not getting a little bit of sleep is starting to outweigh the wanting to stay up past midnight. Just a little bit. I was like, oh, I'm tired again.
Yeah.
Whoa, yeah, I went to bed at 1.
Mm-hmm. So I take a long time to fall asleep, too.
Yeah, so I wanted to share that with everybody. Did you get a chance to do all your sharing?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Next week, I'd like to tell you about the workshop that I attended. I did a 3-day on-course instructor training workshop, which is, I'll tell you more about it next week, but just to sort of get a taste for the listeners, on-course workshop is methodology, structures, and strategies for teaching effectively for students, completely based on research. Even though some people treat it like a religious experience, they talk about it like it's something to get behind. Oh, you got to get on course. It's completely research based.
Good. So based on research, like global warming research and stuff like that, right?
No, not faulty computer models that have never once proved to be right and cost billions of dollars to the interest groups that made it. It's actually research that has proven to be effective, and then they extrapolate what worked from that, and they teach us how to make the working strategies happen in the classroom.
Well, for God's sake, it's about time.
That's right. And people have been doing it. It's going around.
Good.
It's going around.
I wish I could go back to being a student again. I'd be
No, you
such a
don't.
better student than I was when
No, you
I
wouldn't.
was first trying to do it.
It is so worse for students right now.
I would be fine. What do you mean? What's worse about it?
Maybe you'd be okay if you had the right professors that treated you like an adult. But for the most part, from what I
I'd
hear...
be older than 90% of them, so it would be a matter of, will I treat them as adults? Probably.
No, maybe you'd be older than 20% of the professors.
Okay.
Like if you were in my class, you'd be the older guy.
Yeah.
There's always a couple guys that are older than me, but most of those professors that I work with. So what I hear from other professors is that students just act like children. They've been treated like children their whole life, and they continue to act like children in school. So what happens is the professors have to change the way they behave. So instead of treating you like an adult, I need you to read this and come back with your questions next week so we can talk about it.
Do they use timeouts in the classroom?
Well, they use
Ricky, if I'm going to count to 3. If you don't put that iPhone down,
they use strategies to get you to cooperate. Like taking the phone. Okay, you have 5 seconds to pick your phones up, check for messages. Okay, put them down. If you pick your phone up, you lose 10 points.
I like this. I like hearing how these millennials are.
They do that kind of thing. Like that's an example that somebody gave. We have phone breaks. I was like, good God, people.
I like this.
I listen to the other instructors and I think I would rather stab myself in the face with a pencil than sit through some of those classes.
So probably with the first day when your class comes in, you're like, I don't want any cell phones in this class. Turn them off and put them away. And everyone's thinking, okay, Grandpa. And, they're like, you're like the Luddite who, still has the IBM 286 at home, and he gets the to get on and
that'd be nice. Yeah.
file his taxes by himself because he's a militia guy. I have no idea what the hell I'm talking about right now. I think I've had too much of this old fashioned is what happened.
That old fashioned is pretty good.
It's really good.
So for you old fashioned drinkers out there, I used a little bit of gum syrup, which gives it some viscosity.
Yes, when Sable chews gum, it gets really viscous, and
Syrupy.
he spits a big, like, sort of a whole mouthful of spit into your drink, and it's damn good. Is it Juicy Fruit? The yellow pack, right?
Yeah, the double your refreshment.
Yeah, that is good. The mix with Sable's saliva is like tasty.
That's what activates the chemicals.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's a lot of great things going on in college right now. You would probably be great, and just avoid the.
I would think
classes you didn't like.
Is it a lot easier to get laid now if you're a college student? Is it?
Except
I'm so
guys
jealous
are
of that.
guys are not allowed to talk to women. They're taught that speaking to women is bad.
Don't they have that app where they can say, "Hey, I'd like to have sex with you," and then they fill out the form and they get their consent? Is that
We're still working on that, Dave.
no?
We're still working on that app. That's not a thing yet.
I just got a text message from my wife during the podcast. Don't forget soccer practice tomorrow. I got such a like I'm like James Bond, you know. I got the life, boy.
That's a good life. I was at soccer practice yesterday.
You were?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Making friends with the soccer parents. Yep, that's
Yeah.
right. That's life when you have kids, folks. So if you don't like that, maybe not have kids.
Oh, have kids anyway.
All right.
Call them that.
Have kids anyways.
Yes.
Have kids as young as you can, by the way, too.
Yes. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Yes.
Because I'm tired of hearing people talk about how tired they are. I'm so tired. I was talking to my child for 40 minutes and I'm so tired now. Like, dude, just get over it.
You know, that was a private conversation we had, and I don't appreciate you telling everybody what I was talking about.
Let's wrap it
Yeah.
up, Dave. Let's wrap it
Okay,
up.
but yeah, I agree with you. Have them when you're young. You know, for two reasons. It hurts to when you're 40. It hurts to pick them up. Like seriously, physically, it would hurt to pick them up. But second
You're
of all,
not the only guy I've
second
heard
of
say
all,
that.
you adore them so much, you just want to have more time on the planet with them. That's my thing. It's like I was 42 when my first daughter was like, I wish I was 30. I'd have 10 more years on the planet with them. So there you go.
Well, you probably will, but we'll save that for another episode. So we'd like to thank you for subscribing to the show. You can find the Indispensable Thursday show on iTunes and everywhere that fine podcasts are served. We want to hear your voice. Dave, what's the hotline?
Huh? The hotline phone number, 657-206-0777. As they say in the radio biz, 0777. So 657-206-0777.
I'm not sure they say that, Dave. We appreciate your iTunes store reviews. So far, all 5 stars. I'm expecting a 4-star from one of you guys. I'm counting on you for that.
Don't encourage them for a 4-star.
We can't be a mediocre podcast and only have 5 stars.
People will be suspicious if we only have 5-star podcasts.
Leave us a message on Facebook at facebook.com/The Indispensable Thursday Show, or follow us on Twitter at Sable and Dave.
Yes, follow us, but don't get too close. And if it's at night, don't get too close to me because I'm gonna get a little weirded out.
Don't get behind Dave after taco night.
No, for sure.
Ba-doom. See you, Dave.